Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to another Smite commentary. And for this commentary we'll take a look at Vulcan. So, Vulcan is one of those gods that had a change recently, and basically what they changed to him, they gave him a passive. So, for everyone that doesn't know what his passive was, which makes total sense because it has no impact in the game whatsoever, well, it had no impact. His passive used to be, if you hit an ability, you can then apply a slow on the enemy with your next basic. This slow was 10 or 15%, so it was basically neglectable, sorry. So it was just not an awful lot. If you missed that basic attack, you would have lost the effect. Like for instance Polynomicon, if you hit the next basic, you don't have the effect. So it was a very bad passive, and also while you're a mage that relies on abilities a lot to deal his damage, if you need to do a basic attack in between to slow them for such a bad amount, it's not worth it. You will lose a lot of your mobility for it, and it's definitely not something you want to do with such a god that already has such a bad mobility. Oh my god. That Houyi is so lucky. The enemy Habois knocked him up as the Sobek went for the pull. The Sobek pull would have been a hit and would have pulled him back, resulting in first blood. But with that Habois knock up, he actually denied that completely. So very lucky for our Houyi, he got hit by that. Just a bit unfortunate for them. Definitely unfortunate for the Sobek. So, you might wonder, what is his new passive? The new passive is actually a very good one in my opinion. Every time Vulcan hits an enemy with one of his abilities, including the turret shots, he will get a passive. The passive will increase his movement speed for 15 seconds, not 15 seconds, for 5 seconds, and by a total of 15%. He will also get 15 MP5, so that will basically mean that for 5 seconds you will be faster, like I said, the 15%, and in those 5 seconds you will get 15 mana back. So with that you will have a little bit more sustain if you hit someone with an ability or a turret shot, as well as the fact that you will be more mobile, able to get out of sticky situations a little bit better. Because even though a slow 15% might not be a lot, but having a movement speed increase for a lot more time, a lot of the times, because it has no cooldown on it, is just a lot more potent. If you hit an enemy, you will have the buff. It's just a very good trade-off. And as you can see, I have the increased movement speed. You can see it on my bar. It has the same icon as it used to, but now it will provide a very good passive instead of not so much. So, that is a good passive. Other than that, they didn't really change him in any way. He is still the same Vulcan. Excuse me. He still has a lot of damage on his one, a lot of damage on his other abilities, and as you see, a lot of damage on his ultimate. Even though the ultimate was quite close range for the use, still a good amount of damage. Was able to finish up the Noir, who was in the sky with her ultimate. She had an opportunity. She had one choice: either go into my ult range or go towards us and die that way. Both are not good for her. Once she went into the air, she was basically screwed. So, what I want to try this game as well is going for a Warlock Sash. I don't generally build Warlock Sash that much, but I feel like this game it wouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm alone in this lane quite a lot, and I do have a decent amount of clear. I will be maxing out my one first to make sure that I can stack it up more properly, because the one has not only a lower cooldown, it is also better at clearing an entire wave, because you can fire it into its entire length. Nice finish off by the Fafnir. Make sure that we have the third kill on the board. Will definitely help us out. And as you can see, the additional farm I get and the fact that I was part of every single kill, I'm already level 7. As well as the enemy Houyi, so I guess he got the farm going for him as well. Let's just clear this out. I don't have enough to fight the Houyi anyway, so I'll just back off. Get at least the rank 2 of the Warlock Sash. Not finished just yet, not enough gold. But I don't want to wait longer than I have to. Even though I did have a mana potion, I feel like it's just a bit too much of a risk. You don't have any mana left to really defend yourself once it gets to it. So that's definitely something you need to take into consideration sometimes. Waiting a little bit. Make sure that Hou gets the experience as well. You always want to share it as much as you can. Let's go for the ultimate. Walk around. Let's see if I can stab them from this side. Does look like I did hit someone. Not enough to finish someone off. They were all way too healthy. Off the mark with my abilities. Bit unfortunate. They are diving deep. They probably will go for the Hou as well. Bit off the mark with that backfire. If I hit that, would have been a kill. And the meditation comes out. I'll just defend for now. No real reason for me to go aggressive. Don't have any good abilities up anyways. And I'm quite low. And I can finish up my Warlock Sash. So just head back. I'll return to the right lane. Make sure that that one is pushed up again. And stack this one up. So I usually don't build it. It is a lot of stacks. If you're not in Conquest, I feel like it's maybe difficult to get the stacks online. I feel like Siege isn't the worst to get them online either. Because it's a 4-on-4 and you also have 2 lanes. So you have more opportunity to do so. Arena, definitely don't recommend it. Unless, of course, you are a Kukulkan. Kukulkan is very good at it. Because he, of course, has the best wave killer in the game. With his tornado, he will just place it down and he's fine. But usually I will go for a Book of Thoth before I go for a Warlock Sash as Kukulkan. Because I feel like it's just more potent. Decent damage. Not enough. And let's see, can he get hit? Ooh, he misses, unfortunately. Not enough damage. I might be able to get... No, never mind. Time to save myself. Sobek as well. He actually ignores me completely. He will be going for the Hou. Not sure why. Not that I mind, because it will be a lot more difficult for me to get out of the trouble. But it does look like I can. Bit too much of them. Don't have enough damage. Let's try and go for the ult. I think I overshot it a little bit. Not able to finish off the Abois. He is of course quite quick. Ooh, nice Freya damage. A lot of damage on the Abois. Actually forcing out his ultimate and Loki ultimate as well. Just too much damage for me. I don't have my Warlock Sash stacked up just yet. So I don't have enough health to survive that one. That's a bit unfortunate. But that were, of course, the Abois ultimate to get away from my meatball, as well as the Loki ultimate to finish me off. So, 2 ults. It's not too bad. They are getting back into it a little bit though. It is now 8-7 and I think we started off 3-0. So they are getting back into this game. And I do need to make sure that I am positioning myself well. Because Vulcan, no escapes. Very difficult to deal with some of the gods. If I get surprised by the Noir, the Clay Minion detonation combination is just a lot. As well as the Abois, well, you'd never want to be close to one Abois if he has a good amount of damage online. Actually, even when he doesn't, you don't want to get close to him. You never want to. Also, Loki, a lot of damage. That's also one of the reasons I want to go for Warlock Sash. Giving me a little bit more survivability against Loki as well as the Abois. Very, very important. Usually I'll go for a Book of Thoth, but I feel like we don't have the best composition also to kind of save me or peel for me. And that makes things a little bit more difficult for me. It looks like Loki did get hit by the meatball. I got increased movement speed. And you can definitely feel that you have the additional movement speed once you hit someone. Definitely very powerful. A lot of uses, a lot of abilities used on the Freya, and my ultimate is not able to connect on someone. Unfortunately enough, that's just too much damage on the opponent's side. I missed a couple of my abilities, but even if I didn't, I don't think I would have been able to finish someone off. I don't have enough damage just yet, and that's one of the downsides in my opinion. By going Warlock Sash, you will not have the damage online as quickly as you might want to. Nice stun by the Hou. Will run away with the Fafnir coming as well. So we should be fine. And my turret will get me those last hits. Let's see, can we go for someone? Just trying to poke. 275 per one is not bad, especially since it has like 4 or 5 seconds cooldown. Without any cooldown reduction, so it's a very good poke tool if you're able to land them consistently. As well as the meatball is also a very good poke tool. Let's just finish this one off. And let's go back. Does look like the Boxer is going for the mana buff. Actually, it's not even blinking just yet, so it might take a while. Let's see. I do want to get another active. I think I'll go for Sanctuary. It's probably the best bet. I picked up the Purification Beads to get rid of the Sobek pool, as well as Nuwa stun or the Hou stun. Especially the Hou stun into his ultimate is just too much. Able to finish off the Sobek just barely, and with the increased movement speed able to disengage immediately. You can see it is quite effective. Very, very potent. And especially if you are able to consistently keep it up. The additional movement speed is just an awful lot. Let's get this buff. What? Come on, Hou. Seriously? I'm out of mana. I am one that relies on mana a lot. And you're level 8. And you picked the buff. Okay, whatever. I could have used the cooldown reduction. Anyway, Book of Thoth online. With that, the stacking will continue. And it is quite an important one, because I still have an awful lot of stacks to go with the Warlock Sash. 57 to go, and there are 75 stacks on the Book of Thoth, so I can stack more, well, more effectively, I guess, with both of them. Every single minion will provide me an awful lot. Surrender vote by the Hou. Probably just not having a good game. Definitely not something we should give any attention to be honest. I'm not sure why they are bickering against each other so much. I think that it actually is going pretty good, but I think I think Hou backs the differs. Let's see, don't want to get pulled. No, there's nobody nearby. Should be fine. And that is a Loki. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. I should have immediately sanctuaried the Loki, then I would have been fine. As you can see, the Sobek just chases me inside the tower range. Is a bit unfortunate. If I sanctuaried immediately after the Purification Beads to get rid of the Loki damage, I would have been fine. Because the bleed damage did an awful lot as well. I was at like one basic attack of damage after I got well, chased by the Sobek. And he was able to just hit me with the basic, finish me off, even though I did sanctuary his ultimate. And since he's so tanky, he was able to dive quite easily. But in the end he was picked up, so I guess it's not too worth it. You don't want to always die for a kill. It also depends a bit on what you are. If you're, for instance, a support and you have no way to really disengage or support your team, then definitely go for that kill. But if you are able to support your team, then leave the kill. It's not always worth it. Rather save your teammates than go for the kills. Actually, I feel like that's almost with every single character in every single situation. Because if you're able to save your team, then they also won't get the gold. Your team member will still have his experience, etc, etc. So, my next item will be some cooldown reduction. It is a very, very good item on the Vulcan to get more cooldown reduction. You will be able to get a lot more meatballs out, the 3, as well as a lot more ultimates. And the ultimate is not very reliable, so getting them off is very important. And as you can see here, the Hou is still yammering on, and I'm just like, just ignore him, just mute him. He's not worth your time. Not worth it. Let's see, let's go for an ultimate. Actually lining up perfectly, a lot of damage on the Habois as well as the Nuwa. Ooh, I missed the meatball. If I hit that meatball, it would have been a guaranteed kill. But they're also very low, and I'll just go for this tower just very quickly. And we are able to clean up. Unfortunately enough, the Nuwa as well as the Habois are able to disengage. So in that regard, my ult didn't do as much, you might think. But with that ultimate, I am guaranteed to force them back. With the amount HP they had, they will never go in. The Habois also won't use his ultimate over my entire team, as well as the Nuwa probably won't go in her ultimate as well, because she will land down with my team. So getting them both very low with my ultimate, hitting them both for over 700, is just a very good way to get them out of the fight, even though I didn't kill them. So that is an option. Don't underestimate damage. It will always be very effective. And sometimes you can actually win a game by peeling with damage. And that is just a very potent tool, to be honest. Let's get this buff online. I feel like I have a good use for it now. Even though I haven't been part of an awful lot of kills. 13 out of 22. I feel like I have an awful lot of damage now. With the Book of Thoth. With the cooldown reduction. With all the stacks I have accumulated for now. It's not insane amount, but it's definitely very good. Looks like Loki wants to engage. Let's hit that backfire again. As you can see, a very good amount of damage. He can choose what is he going for. Looks like he uses Sanctuary to get rid of the Freya. But Freya is able to pick up the Arbois, so not going for the one we actually wanted. But of course it is a slippery Loki with his invisible. Still, good amount of damage. Nice. Freya able to pick up the Hou-Yi on the enemy side. Let's see, can we go for the Sobek as well? Decent amount of damage. Loki is somewhere near. Ooh, nice stab by the Loki. Actually just barely catches the Freya before she goes into the air. Luckily enough for the Freya, her ultimate is not on cooldown, so that one did not go to waste. So I guess it was probably the best situation, because if she dies to a bleed inside her ultimate, she will also have it on cooldown. So she did die before that one went off. And it does look like it is over. There is just way too much damage on my team, and we're able to pick up this victory with the Fafnir, with the Bakasura, and with my damage. The turret just doing way too much damage, sustained damage, and tanking up was the Fafnir. Just an awful lot of damage. It's just insane how much Vulcan can do, especially once I was full build. I probably would have finished off the build with a Rod of Tahuti, and afterwards probably a pen item. And as you can see, most damage on the team. It's just insane how much he can do. I probably would have finished off with, well, there are a couple of options. Since none of the enemies really have a lot of magical protection except for the Sobek, I could also have gone for instance, a Soul Reaver or a Polynomicon. So what the Soul Reaver will do is, if you hit someone, you will hit them even harder. If you hit the meatball into the backfire with the Soul Reaver, you're almost guaranteed to kill them entirely. Also, when you have the Polynomicon, you can do about the same, but you have to weave a basic in between to get that full damage off. I probably would have gone for the Soul Reaver, because I don't like to basic as much. Polynomicon, there are only a few gods I sometimes pick it up on. I am not a huge fan, but don't get me wrong, it is a very, very powerful tool. It is definitely not an item you should ever underestimate. If you ever have seen a power Emir with Polynomicon, you know it can hurt a lot. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you have gotten a feeling for his new passive, and I hope you are as excited for it as I am, because I feel like Vulcan is just a lot more potent than he was before, because he had a lot of lack of mobility issues, and with the new passive I feel like they kind of solved that a little bit, providing him the 15% movement speed after getting a hit on a god. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.